How's it going, everyone? There was a lot of exciting stuff coming out of the Game Awards and a lot of attention around Okami 2, Intergalactic, Witcher 4, of course, but those games are probably all a ways away. Intergalactic, I don't think we're going to get until fall of 2026 or 2027. Okami 2, I don't think we're going to get until 2028 or 2029, given that game is literally just starting production. Witcher 4... I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, but I saw what happened with Cyberpunk 2077. I don't think it's going to be that long of a wait, but I don't think we're going to get Witcher 4 until 2029. So we're talking several years and years away for all of those games. However, a game that for a long time, I thought was going to be years and years away. And honestly, for a little while, I did put this game in the category of, okay, let's see if this game actually comes out. Now we have a tentative release window. Crimson Desert is scheduled for a release in the fall of 2025. I am very excited for this game. Obviously, the gameplay we've seen thus far has looked incredibly technically impressive. I mean, this is one of the most technically impressive games that I feel like we've seen, and given that, one of the elements that I do think is a bit of a cause for concern when we watch the gameplay was the performance of it. It'll be interesting to see if the PlayStation 5 Pro does enhance this game a little bit, and this is one of those games that I wouldn't be surprised if it's 30 frames per second across the board on PlayStation 5 and Xbox, but we'll see how all of that turns out. Now, it is coming from Pearl Abyss, the developers most known for Black Desert. They've worked on a lot of other games and are currently working on a lot of other titles. Black Desert, Dokkaebi is still in development, Plan 8, but Crimson Desert, to me, is that title that's really up my alley. An open-world action-adventure title that is narrative-driven and story-driven. It's the bread and butter as far as what we like in our video games, at least what I like in my video games, and I think what a lot of people watching this channel like in their video games. Crimson Desert's description notes it's an open-world action-adventure set in the beautiful yet brutal continent of Paiwo. Discover adventure, uncover wonders, and experience thrilling action as you witness the saga surrounding Cliff, the leader of the Greymanes, whose missions take him on an incredible journey. Welcome to the beautiful yet brutal continent of Paiwo, from the snow-based mountains of Quidin to the verdant expanses of Akapen and the towering ridges scattering the Crimson Desert. The land is a testament to nature's grandeur, yet amidst the beauty, the continent stands locked in war as factions vie for unprecedented power. And that beauty is really translated into the entirety of the game based on what we've seen thus far. The long draw distances, the environments, the variety in the environments as well, the particle effects, the snow, grass, all of that looks incredible. I do wonder, again, we've seen some good looking games on PlayStation 5. When you take a big open world like this, so many particles on screen, so much detail in the environment, I am a little bit concerned how this game is going to run. Hopefully it just runs at a good level, and with an action-oriented style, it would be ideal to play a game like this at 60 frames per second, but we'll see how that turns out. Discover adventure, explore exciting locations, and fight thrilling battles as you travel across an incredible open world filled with wonder and mystery. Cliff and the Greymanes, this is our mission. Join Cliff, captain of the Greymanes, and his comrades as they embark on a relentless journey to defend Paiwo and fulfill their mission. Along with your perilous path stands both dependable allies and countless foes who will stop at nothing to see your downfall. Face trials to uncover the truth of the catastrophe looming over Paiwo and restore peace to the continent. We don't have a lot of insight as far as the specific gameplay elements. We can only really break down what we see in the trailer, and it looks like a fast-paced action-oriented title. It does also note a world brimming with adventure. Explore the mesmerizing landscapes of the continent where mystical beings, hidden treasures, and thrilling adventures await. Back in Gamescom of this year, we did get a lengthy gameplay demo of the Whitehorn boss battle, and it's an action title that has a lot of the mechanics that you would typically expect. Dodge, attack, and definitely the Whitehorn boss in particular looks to be quite the exhilarating boss battle, and I think sets a tone for what to expect out of the game. Incredibly bloody and incredibly gruesome as well. This is a game that, if it drops in 2025, I think is going to be one of the standout games of the year. This really has the potential to be something akin to a Black Myth Wukong, where a lot of games are coming out from your well-known studios. Ubisoft's dropping a game here, maybe Sony's dropping a Ghost of Yotai around the same time, and then Crimson Desert comes out. Pearl Abyss, while they are a well-known studio, they aren't a known studio for this style of game. People don't associate Pearl Abyss with narrative-driven single-player titles, which is what Crimson Desert is. On the Steam page, it is noted just to be single-player, so it'll be interesting if there is a multiplayer component to it, but that's not what Pearl Abyss is known for, much like Shift Up. Shift Up's been around for a little while, but Stellar Blade, that wasn't the style of game they were known for. I think Pearl Abyss can come out guns blazing with something like Crimson Desert, drop something in the midst of a lot of other big games coming out, because there's no way this is a game that's coming out in the first half of 2025. It'll be a second half of 2025 title, and when you look at the landscape of games coming out around that same time, you would have to think Ghosts of Yotai, you would have to think games like a potential Fable release, Outer Worlds 2, you know, games that are coming from a lot of premier development studios, much like when Black Myth Wukong came out. What games were coming out? You had Star Wars Outlaws come out, you had a couple of other games the following month come out, but what was a game that stood out and ended up being nominated for Game of the Year? It was Black Myth Wukong, coming from a studio that was heavily unknown. Same thing with Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade came around a few months after a lot of notable titles, or games I should say, from premier development studios and publishers, yet Stellar Blade still stood out. I feel like Crimson Desert could be exactly that, and it's one of those games that at this level of scale and beauty, you're obviously going to have an inherent level of interest just on the graphical fidelity of the game, but then ultimately, it does need to be a compelling and well-designed game throughout. It looks to have some great depth to its gameplay as well, the flying with the dragons, and then the absolute chaos that can emerge. Again, every time I'm looking at some footage right now, I'm just like, man, I am really curious how this game is going to run. You're talking about flying a dragon into a castle and breathing down fire. Like, that sounds like something where that frame rate gonna be dipping. But just to go over the system requirements so we can have an idea, and this could be tentative. I don't believe this will be final, because the minimum system requirements note a Ryzen 5 2600X and an i5 8500, 16 gigs of RAM, a GTX 1060. I don't know if a GTX 1060 gonna be run this game, man. I don't know, but recommended is more in line with what I would expect. A Ryzen 7 7700X, 16 gigs of RAM, and then an RTX 4070 Super. Excuse me, I was about to say 2070, a 4070 Super. Obviously, by the time this game comes out, the 5000 series GPUs will be out on consoles. It'll be very, very interesting to keep a lock on how this game does performance-wise, but hopefully it just drops by the fall of 2025. This is one that I totally pegged it in the category of like a deep down. And I did peg Black Myth Wukong and Stellar Blade as those games that I looked at them and I was like, this might be a little bit too good to be true. Crimson Desert absolutely had it in that category, and that's how I am. I'm always pessimistic with these games that look blow away at a surface level. I'm just like, yeah, these games ain't ever coming out, because I've seen this song and dance play out so many times. But given we got a release window now, and given we're getting more and more gameplay, man, I'm pretty confident that this is coming out, especially after Black Myth and Stellar Blade came out, and those games were awesome. Hopefully, Crimson Desert drops, and it turns out to be a great title. Could be one of the standouts of 2025. That's gonna do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.